Hello students. Uh, in the previous class we have already discussed about the basic structure of the protein, right? Amino acids and their grouping, Avel, IPF, Vim, GST, SINQ, DKER, H, right? And their different uncommon amino acids and their importance, and a basic structure of polypeptide chain. They are connected by the peptide bond, and classification based on the solubility, shape, structure and biological function based on the solubility, simple, conjugated and derived uh, protein, and the based on, some example of the conjugated. There are the metalloproteins, means associated with the metals, glycoproteins associated with the iron, right? So chromoproteins, hemoglobin, hemocyanin, hemoerythrin, phosphoproteins, phosphate group, lipoproteins, many proteins, and nucleoprotein, derived protein, which are conjugated as well as simple mixture, and based on the shape of the protein, fibrous, and one is the globular. Globular means circular structure, fibrous means may be the elongated in different directions, right? And then example we have taken alpha keratin and the collagen. And then globular protein, in FPLC we usually take the globular protein as a protein marker because of their shape that contains very less space while moving and give the right result in this. And protein classification based on the structure, primary, secondary and tertiary structure, quaternary structure we have discussed briefly, but in deep we will take one by one, right? And on the basis of biological function, there are many, group you can divide these proteins, like those who have the enzymatic property, those proteins who have participate in the structural component, many proteins who can carry the transport or the nutrient storage protein, or the motile protein, or the defense protein, regulatory protein and toxic protein. So based on the function you can divide different group of the protein. Right. So next we have also discussed about the first sequencing method, determination of amino acid sequence of protein. Right. So the first method which we have discussed, that was the Frederick Sanger in 1953, and they have give the sequence of insulin in this. So can you tell me the name of the chemical which actually Frederick Sanger has used? Right. So in the video class we cannot talk to each other, so that we will discuss in the live uh, session. So there are two chemicals, right? One is the FDNV and other one is the Dencil, or you can say the Defcel. So 1-fluoro-2,4 dinitrobenzene, this one, right? 1-fluoro-2,4 dinitrobenzene, and second one is the Dencil or Defcel chloride. This is the Dencil chloride, same structure but their arrangement is different, and this Defcel chloride. So total there are three chemical which Sanger has used for the sequencing. In 1953 he has developed this protocol, but there are many limitations of this method in FDNB and Devsil and Dencil chloride. So there are many limitations. Limitation is hydrolysis stages destroy the polypeptide, means in between your polypeptide chain may be the destroyed, and this procedure cannot be used to sequence a polypeptide beyond its amino acid terminal residue, right? So it can help to determine the number of chemically distinct polypeptide in a protein. Each has a different amino terminal residue. For example, two residue phenylalanine and glycine would be labeled in the insulin. So just remember phenylalanine and glycine. So here you can see the sequence, right? So here is the phenylalanine, that is in the B chain, and glycine in the A chain. So terminal residue can label in this sequence B. So after hydrolysis of this, then you will get the second one, right? So For example, two residue phenylalanine and glycine would be labeled in the insulin process. Two residue here, this one and this one. Right, so there are three sulfide bond. Two is between chain A and B, one is within intra A chain. Right, so what is the process of that we have already discussed of this Sanger method. So you take the polypeptide. Polypeptide is a very long 100 200 amino acid long polypeptide you have taken, and you treat with this a single reagent that is called FDNB, 1-fluoro-2,4-dinitrobenzene. Right, right. Then you will get here, and this FDNB connect with your terminal amino acid. This is the terminal amino acid having R1. This is the first or extreme terminal amino acid with whom FDNB actually attached, and this one is the second one. R2 is the second amino acid, and this group is called 2,4-dinitrophenyl derivatives. 2,4-dinitrophenyl derivatives of polypeptide, right? Then you treat with 6 molar HCl, and here is the point why in the limitation they have mentioned it, HCl, and that too much of 6 molar. So while hydrolysis there may be the non-specific hydrolysis of the protein may occur on this high much concentration of the HCl. That is the drawback of this protocol, right? So if this is the chain 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, so hydrolysis should be till here, right? So one amino acid you will get, and which that too labeled, and you can detect this by the detector. So this one is the 2,4-dinitrophenyl derivatives of amino terminal residue. So terminal residue, suppose terminal residue is the phenylalanine. So phenylalanine is labeled with FDNB, right? And plus you will get the free amino acids, right? At this higher concentration of the HCl, you will get the free amino acids, single amino acid. Identify amino terminal residue of the polypeptide. So this Sanger method of the protein sequencing tells you the which amino acid is present on the terminal, right? Because this FDNB actually attached to the terminal residue, extreme terminal residue you can get, right? So this is the limitation of this method. So in the meanwhile, Edmonds also, where Edmonds was actually doing the experiment on the protein, then he came up with the hypothesis, and he has given the, I mean, he has done the experiment as well as given the hypothesis and proved it in 1947 parallelly with the Sanger's method, which came in 1953. To sequence an entire polypeptide means our aim should be the sequence the whole polypeptide chain, not only a terminal chain, right? So at that time we were looking that to sequence the full chain, and that will be actually in the demand. So to sequence an entire polypeptide, a chemical method was developed by Edman, right, in 1947. This procedure labels and remove only the amino terminal residue. So as I said in polypeptide chapter, so protein has two terminus, right? So if you remember the structure of single amino acid, one end means left hand side that has NH3 and then carbon and then COH, and there is a side chain of R. So COH terminal is called C terminal, NH3 terminal is called N terminal. So this actually process removes only the amino terminal residue means amino acid term left hand side residue it removes, again label, then remove, again label, then remove. So in this way it can sequence the full polypeptide chain, right? So what is the step of this protocol that we will discuss? That is, there is a reagent just like FDNB in the Sanger method, 1-fluoro-2,4-dinitrobenzene. Here we use phenyl isothiocyanate, right? Phenyl isothiocyanate under mild alkaline condition, which converts the amino terminal amino acid, means this phenyl isothiocyanate react with amino acid and makes the phenyl carbomoyl PTC, right, as a product. So just we can go through the process. So here your polypeptide chain is here, means this one is the polypeptide chain and it is coming from here and react with phenyl isothiocyanate. This one is the structure of phenyl isothiocyanate, because there is a sulfur means thio and there is a CN cyanide. CN is the cyanide. So CN के साथ S जुड़ा हुआ है तो क्या हो गया ये thiocyanate, right? So this one is the phenyl thiocyanate, NCS, phenyl group and then NCS, right? So it actually reacts with your polypeptide and make a linkage with the polypeptide chain, that is called PTC adduct, right? That is the intermediate product. So further, with the help of acetic acid, right, I mean some mild acid, that is called anhydrous trifluoroacetic acid. This one is called anhydrous trifluoro, because यहाँ पे 3 फ्लोरो हैं. So anhydrous trifluoro, right, acetic acid, CH3COH है, H3 की जगह यहाँ पे फ्लोरो आ गया है, फ्लोराइड, राइट. सो ये हो गया है ट्राईफ्लोरोएसिटिक एसिड. सो दिस इज एनहाइड्रस कंडीशन. सो ये एनहाइड्रस कंडीशन में क्या करता है, यहाँ से इलेक्ट्रॉन्स की शिफ्टिंग करता है और बॉन्ड को ब्रेक कर देता है, राइट. एंड देन दिस एक्चुअली क्रिएट्स अ साइक्लिक स्ट्रक्चर, हाइड्रेटोइन. दिस क्रिएट्स अ साइक्लिक स्ट्रक्चर, राइट. दिस क्रिएट्स अ साइक्लिक स्ट्रक्चर, हाइडेंटोइन जिसको बोलते हैं. सो दिस बिकम्स एनिलीनोथायोजोलिनोन, derivatives of amino acid residue. This is a intermediate product, right, but it stables further in this product. So this is intermediate product and final product become phenyl thiohydantoin. So जो स्टेबल प्रोडक्ट है उसको बोलते हैं फिनाइल थायोहाइडेंटोइन, जो इंटरमीडिएट प्रोडक्ट है उसको बोलते हैं एनिलीनोथायोजोलिनोन, एनिलीनोथियाजोलिनोन, राइट. एंड इसको जो फाइनल प्रोडक्ट बनता है उसको बोलते हैं फिनाइल थायोहाइडेंटोइन, फिनाइल थायोहाइडेंटोइन, डेरिवेटिव्स ऑफ अमीनो एसिड रेसिड्यू. सो इसने ये स्ट्रक्चर बना लिया तो रेस्ट ऑफ द पॉलीपेप्टाइड चेन आपका मीडियम में रहेगा. यू प्यूरिफाइड इट, रेस्ट ऑफ द पॉलीपेप्टाइड, एंड देन अगेन इट विल गो एंड रिएक्ट विद द phenyl isothiocyanate, right, PTIC, right. So again at the second carbon this will attach and then again hydrolysis. Suppose there are 100 amino acids, so one amino acid goes here and finally you identify this, what is the amino acid along with this functional group, what is this amino acid, that will be identified by the analyzer, right. And then 99 amino acids again go, 99 number amino acid will again react with the PTIC and it will make the intermediate product, finally this product, and the rest of the 98 amino acid will come here. Again this cycle will going on until you will get all the sequence of amino acid, right? So this is a cyclic process. So one by one you will get the sequence of amino acid, right? So identify amino terminal residue, purify, matlab this purify, first you identify this and then purify and recycle remaining peptide and recycle remaining peptide fragment. I mean, it is very time taking, means it is a free radical free group. You first isolate this and also purified the rest of the peptide. Maybe while purification there is a non-specific breaking also occur, yes, occur, right, some percentage, but still you have the full length, then again go for this process, right? So slowly one by one, one by one you are actually doing this cycle. Second step, what is the third step? Third step, I have already told you. The derivatives amino acid is extracted with the organic solvent, converted to more stable phenylthiohydantoin derivatives by the treatment with the aqueous acid, right? Aqueous acid के साथ, and then finally fourth step is the identification. You can identify this amino acid. So this is the Edmonds protein sequencing process which they have reported in 1947, and Sanger method of degradation was came in 1953. I mean, simultaneously they were doing the research on the sequencing of the polypeptide chain. After removal, I mean, this is the same which we have understand the process, just I read it. After removal and identification of the amino terminal residue, so this is amino terminal, this is amino terminal, right? And this one is the C terminal, and this is the second amino acid N terminus, and this one is the C terminus. So always remove the amino acid from the N terminal region, right? So after removal and identification of the amino terminal residue, the new amino terminal residue so exposed and can be labeled again and then removed and identified through the same series of reaction, right? This procedure is repeated until the entire sequence is determined. The Edmond degradation is carried out on a machine that is called a sequenator, right? जो sequencing करता है और analysis करता है and identify the terminal amino acid residue, that mixes reagents in the proper proportion, separates the product, identifies them and record the result, right? The primary structure of the insulin worked out by the Sanger and the colleagues over a period of 10 years, means they have taken 10 years to sequence a single polypeptide chain, single, that is insulin. 10 years, 10 years. And nowadays, within hour, within half an hour, you can sequence any protein. Could now be completely determined in a day or two, in a single day, 1 to 2, 3, 4 hours, right? So this is, there are two methods. One is the Sanger's degradation methods, that is came in 1953, and the other one is the Edmonds degradation method that came in 1947. So there is one question, why large protein must be sequenced in the smaller segment? Means if you have 1000 amino acid protein or 2000 amino acid protein, 2000 amino acid protein, their approximately weight is 200 kd. So 200 kd is not good for the sequencing because it is very big protein. If your protein size is around suppose 200 or 300 amino acids, 200 means 20 kDa, 300 means 30 kDa approximately. So 30 kDa protein is much more easy to sequence as compared to 300 amino acids, 300 kDa, right? 30 kDa is very small protein as compared to the 300 kDa. So why large protein must be sequenced in the smaller fragment? Means 300 kDa को अगर आपको sequence करना है तो उसके छोटे छोटे fragments बनाओगे, 50-50 के fragments, 100-100 के fragments, then you go for the sequencing. What is the reason behind this? Why you do this? We do this in the sequencing facility. But question is, why we do this? What the bad impact actually have on the sequencing of it, right? So answer is the overall accuracy of the amino acid sequencing generally decline as the length of the polypeptide increases, right? Overall digestion and hydrolysis that may have the impact of this property. The very large polypeptide must be broken down into the smaller pieces to be sequenced efficiently. Steps of the process, I mean what is the step of process? I mean ऐसा नहीं है कि डायरेक्टली प्रोटीन लिया और सीक्वेंसिंग मशीन में डाल दिया, नो. So before going to the sequence, there are some pre-steps which you have to do. What are those steps? Like आपको उसको रिडक्शन उसका करना पड़ेगा. अब दो पॉलीपेप्टाइड चेन है, उसके बीच में तो डाइसल्फाइड बॉन्ड है, उसको ब्रेक करना पड़ेगा, राइट, उसको रिड्यूस करना पड़ेगा. देन if your protein is very large, you have to digest this. After digestion, you have to purify and then go for the sequencing. So these are the pre-steps before going to the final sequencing. So what are those steps? So a step of the process is the first step. The protein is cleaved into a set of specific fragment by the chemical or the enzymatic method, right? So first you have to cleave the protein in a very small fragment, small fragment, right? So in that, the first step is breaking the disulfide bond and then hydrolysis. So first, just as I said, you have to break the disulfide bond which connect two chain or within one chain, right? Otherwise in the labeling and then hydrolysis there will be a problem. So two approaches to the irreversible breakage of the disulfide bond are used, and there are two chemicals which are used for this to break the disulfide bond. One is the performic acid here, and other one is the dithiotritol, DTT, right? So one is the performic acid and one is the DTT, dithiotritol. So when you treat with this disulfide bond and it has the disulfide bond cysteine, these are the polypeptide chain. So there is an oxidation by performic acid and reduction through the DTT, dithiotritol, right? So here is the oxidation. So performic acid actually gives the oxygen, oxidize it, and this chain will break. Here is the DTT, structure of the DTT. And on the other hand, you can also use the dithiotritol, means DTT, to break this disulfide bond as a SH. Both are already connected, but after breaking this, and further acetylation by iodoacetate. Further you can acetylate this group so that there is no any chance to react again of the sulfide bond. So acetylated cysteine residue, they actually don't make the disulfide bond again, right? So the first step is what? To break the disulfide bond in your protein if there, right? Then cleaving the polypeptide chain means your chain is suppose 2 chain or 3 chain. So first you have to cleave the disulfide bond. Now you cleave the polypeptide chain in a different length. For that you use a definite or the fixed enzymes. I mean who those are the enzyme who digest the protein. Have you heard about your digestive system? So there are the protein TAL, TOL, right? Trypsin, pepsin, right? Chymotrypsin. Those are enzymes who digest your protein in our digestive system. So we have used that, actually we have used those information for this one. So cleaving the polypeptide chain, several methods can be used for fragmenting, and moreover these chemicals are specific. They can cut at a specific site. Means as I said you, in the protein there is two terminal. One is the N terminal and another other one is the C terminal. So these chemicals can cut specifically on the C terminal or specifically on the N terminal, C terminal, or N terminal or the C terminal. This is one specification. The other one is they can cut specifically at very definite amino acid, means between which amino acids, right? Right. For example, the phenylalanine or lysine at the end terminus of the lysine. So if this is the lysine amino acid, so its end terminus is this. So ये ब्रेक करेगा लाइसिन के पहले, उसके एन टर्मिनस जहां पे उसका NH2 ग्रुप है वहां पे करेगा. एंड देयर आर सम एंजाइम व्हिच आर स्पेसिफिक ऑन द सी टर्मिनस, राइट? फिनाइलएलानिन का सी टर्मिनस, तो फिनाइलएलानिन के सी टर्मिनस पे ब्रेक करेगा, राइट? वी विल डिस्कस इट, बट दीज आर वेरी वेरी स्पेसिफिक. So some proteases cleaves only the peptide bond adjacent to particular amino acid residue, right? So thus the fragment of the polypeptide chain will be predictable, means if you are treating with any enzyme, then you can predict the length, right? So you can predict the length of protein. How we will learn. So ये लिस्ट आपको याद करनी है, बगैर इस लिस्ट के काम नहीं चलेगा. क्यों? क्योंकि इससे एक दो क्वेश्चन 100% आपके एग्जाम में आएंगे, एंड ऑल्सो दे कम इन द CSIR एग्जाम. जो आप नेट, JRF, गेट, इन सब में इससे रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन आएंगे. और इसके बाद जितने भी आप एंट्रेंस देंगे उसमें कहीं ना कहीं सीक्वेंसिंग से रिलेटेड 101% क्वेश्चन होते हैं. तो आपका ये जो फंडामेंटल है सीक्वेंसिंग का, दैट शुड बी क्लियर. Advance and degradation sequencing should be clear, each and every step, right? So these are the chemical which you use actually for the digestion of the protein, right? For example, इसको कैसे याद करना है, I'll tell you. ट्रिप्सिन, राइट? ट्रिप्सिन टाल, TAL टाल हमारे स्टमक में होता है, बोवाइन पेनक्रियास से मिला है ये ट्रिप्सिन. लाइसिन एंड आर्जिनिन के सी टर्मिनस पे कट करता है, LA. लाइसिन एंड आर्जिनिन के सी टर्मिनस पे कट करता है. तो ट्रिप्सिन लाइसिन और आर्जिनिन के सी टर्मिनस पे करता है. सब मैक्सिलरस प्रोटीजेस ये उतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, ये आर्जिनिन के सी टर्मिनस पे करता है. सो क्या हो गया? ट्रिप्सिन एंड काइमोट्रिप्सिन. सो ट्रिप्सिन एंड काइमोट्रिप्सिन दोनों लगभग सेम है. ट्रिप्सिन करता है लाइसिन और आर्जिनिन के सी टर्मिनस पे, काइमोट्रिप्सिन करता है, काइमो इससे बड़ा है, ये सिर्फ 2 को करता है, और ट्रिप्सिन से काइमोट्रिप्सिन उसके आगे काइमो लगा हुआ है, राइट? तो काइमो इससे बड़ा हो गया, तो ये 2 को करता है, तो ये 3 को करता है. फी ट्रिप टायर, काइमो फी ट्रिप टायर, काइमो फी ट्रिप टायर सी टर्मिनल पे करता है. मींस जो भी आपके ये नोन है इन डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम के, ट्रिप्सिन एंड काइमोट्रिप्सिन, ये तो लाइसिन आर्जिनिन को करता है, राइट? लाइसिन एंड आर्जिनिन दोनों ही पॉजिटिव अमीनो एसिड है, और ये करता है काइमोट्रिप्सिन करता है फी ट्रिप टायर के सी टर्मिनस पे. ठीक है, ये दोनों याद हो गए. उसके बाद स्टेफाइलोकोकस ऑरियस उतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है. प्रोटीजेस ये एस्पार्टिक एसिड एंड ग्लूटामिक एसिड मींस नेगेटिव अमीनो एसिड्स के सी टर्मिनस पे कर रहा है. देन ये एस्पार्टेट एंड प्रोटीजेस एस्पार्टेट एंड ग्लूटामेट को कर रहा है, राइट? उसके बाद पेप्सिन इंपॉर्टेंट है. फी ट्रिप टायर, काइमोट्रिप्सिन का पेप्सिन उल्टा है, काइमोट्रिप्सिन का पेप्सिन उल्टा है. काइमोट्रिप्सिन सी से शुरू हो रहा है, तो ये सी टर्मिनस को क्लीव कर रहा है, राइट? और पेप्सिन पी से शुरू हो रहा है, तो उसका जो अपोजिट है फी ट्रिप टायर का अपोजिट एन टर्मिनस पे, इन्हीं अमीनो एसिड्स को एन टर्मिनस पे क्लीव करेगा. तो काइमोट्रिप्सिन का अपोजिट क्या हो गया? पेप्सिन, राइट? और ट्रिप्सिन काइमोट्रिप्सिन एक ही टर्मिनल पे करता है, सी टर्मिनल पे, राइट? ये करता है KR को, और ये करता है फी ट्रिप टायर को. पेप्सिन फी ट्रिप टायर एन टर्मिनल. एंडोप्रोटीजेस लाइसिन सी टर्मिनस, और इम्पॉर्टेंट है साइनोजन ब्रोमाइड। साइनोजन ब्रोमाइड बहुत आता है, ये भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। साइनोजन ब्रोमाइड ये मेथियोनिन को करता है सी टर्मिनस पे। इसके अलावा भी अगर आपको 2-3 इंपॉर्टेंट कहीं मिले तो उनकी एक जस्ट मेक अ लिस्ट एंड रिवाइज एवरी सेकेंड डे, राइट। तो आपको ये सारा पता चल जाएगा। लाइसिन एंड आर्जिनिन आपका this one, lysine and arginine, these are two positive amino acid, lysine and arginine। तो लाइसिन और अर्जिनिन पॉजिटिव अमाइनो एसिड के सी टर्मिनस पे आपका ये ट्रिप्सिन कर रहा है। लाइसिन इधर फी ट्रिप टायर, फी फिनाइलएलानिन, ट्रिप टायरोसिन, फी पीएचई फी ट्रिप टीआरपी ट्रिप टायर, ये तीनों के तीनों एरोमेटिक अमाइनो एसिड है। इसका मतलब काइमोट्रिप्सिन और पेप्सिन दोनों के दोनों एरोमेटिक अमाइनो एसिड पे टारगेट करते हैं, एक सी टर्मिनस पे और एक एन टर्मिनस पे, राइट। तो तीनों ही फी ट्रिप टायर, तीनों ही, या FYW कैसे भी याद कर लो अपने सहूलियत के हिसाब से, बस आपको याद करना है। फी ट्रिप टायर तीनों ही फिनाइलएलानिन, टायरोसिन एंड ट्रिप्टोफैन, तीनों ही को करता है काइमोट्रिप्सिन और पेप्सिन, राइट। सो इसको याद करने के बाद जो इसके प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगे उसको आप यू कैन सॉल्व, राइट। सो वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट द डिफरेंट स्टेप्स ऑफ प्रोटीन सीक्वेंसिंग। वन वाज first you have to remove the disulfide bond, right, and the second is hydrolysis। हाइड्रोलिसिस किससे किया आपने? ट्रिप्सिन से कर लिया, काइमोट्रिप्सिन से ट्रीटमेंट दे दिया, या पेप्सिन से दे दिया, या साइनोजन ब्रोमाइड से दे दिया। मींस यू कैन ट्रीट एनी वन एंजाइम और इन कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ टू एंजाइम, राइट। अभी वो बात करेंगे कि हम एक से कब करते हैं और दो से कब करते हैं और तीन से कब करते हैं। सपोज यू डोंट get the sequence, specific sequence by digesting one clear cut sequence by digesting one enzyme, then you have to go for the second one, right। अगर combination नहीं मिल रहा है तो then you go for the double digestion, और more or less double digestion में आपको sequence मिल जाता है, right। so आपने digestion किया, means ये जो डाइजेशन है मींस आपके पास ट्रिप्सिन, काइमोट्रिप्सिन, पेप्सिन, साइनोजन ब्रोमाइड एंड सम प्रोटीजेस, अदर प्रोटीजेस, अदर माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म प्रोटीजेस यू हैव, दीज आर द एंजाइम। ये एंजाइम आपके पास लेबोरेटरी में है। इन एंजाइम से आप अपनी प्रोटीन को, हाउ विल यू गो फॉर द डाइजेशन? वेयर इज योर प्रोटीन, राइट। सो यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड अबाउट द प्रोटीन प्यूरिफिकेशन सिस्टम, right। protein, what is the protein purification system? हम डाइजेशन के 3 मेथड्स हैं। अब बगैर प्रोटीन प्यूरिफिकेशन स्टेप्स पे यू कैन नॉट अंडरस्टैंड दीज 3। इन जेल डाइजेशन, ऑन मेम्ब्रेन डाइजेशन, इन सोल्यूशन डाइजेशन, राइट। सो फर्स्ट गोइंग टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड, we have to understand what is the protein purification system, right। So you people have heard about the recombinant DNA technology, right। So in the recombinant DNA technology there is a vector. In the vector you have clone your gene of interest, then total it makes a recombinant DNA, and then you transform this recombinant DNA into the host cell. Host is E. coli. E. coli DS10 beta is a cloning cell and E. coli BL21D3 is the expression cells. तो आपको अगर प्रोटीन एक्सप्रेस करनी है देन यू हैव टू ट्रांसफॉर्म दीज रिकॉम्बिनेंट वेक्टर इनटू दोज सेल्स, राइट। अब उसमें ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन करने के बाद यू चेक द प्रोटीन एक्सप्रेशन, राइट। सो सपोज यू आर यूजिंग द वन वेक्टर दैट इज नोन एज PET28A vector. I remember I have given you this experiment and give you the transformation, I think so, right। So you must know the what is the transformation, right। So now you get the transformed bacterial cell. Now you go for their culture, primary culture and then secondary culture in the flask, and these vectors are the inducible vectors. Means if you add any chemical, if you add any particular chemical, which is related to that vector, then mRNA production become high. If mRNA production become high, then that mRNA will make the protein, then protein expression also high, right? And when both are high, means finally what is your target? Your target is the protein purification. Your target is the protein, right? So in a culture you have added there, that chemical is called IPTG. You search out and get the full form of IPTG. I'll ask in the next class. IPTG, right? So you induce that culture with the help of IPTG, right? Then after 2 3 4 5 hours you take the culture. After 4 hours 5 hours after induction you take the culture, pellet it. आप उसका pellet बनाएंगे, then you do the lysate, उसका lysate बनाएंगे, then you pull out the protein with the help of any tag, right? That recombinant protein has the his tag. So there are different tags. Sometimes I mean, another time we will discuss what is the protein purification system in detail, right? So proteins have different tags, just like his tag, GST tag, MBP tag, right, make tag. So these are the tag. So what is the role of these tags? These tags help in the purification of that protein. Suppose this is the mixture of your protein and all the protein has the his tag, and I have the slurry. Slurry means bead, small just like mustard grain, and that is very small than the mustard, very small than the sand particles, and that sand particles has a some length against his tag. So this length actually reacts with the his tag, make the bond and pull it your protein, right? So this is the slurry. Slurry is the globular, and this slurry has a tag, and that tag actually attached with your his protein, and this his tag is actually connected with your protein, and this actually pull your protein. So this is pull down. You pull out your protein, so you purify your protein. Finally you have purified your protein, right? So bottom line is you have purify the protein with the help of recombinant DNA technology. Now with you there is a purified protein, right? So you run those purified protein in the SDS gel. SDS gel, you must know, right? Sodium dodecyl sulfate sulfate gel, paste gel. So you just make the gel, whatever is the percentage depending on the protein, 10%, 12%, 15%, run the gel, and after staining with the Comassi staining, right, you will get the different band. These bands are the protein band. These bands are different band are the protein band. These are the marker. Marker means there is a standard marker that is provided by the company, right? So these are the markers. So you run this gel, and this one is the staining of the SDS, and this one is the staining of the silver staining. So if you want to do the silver staining, then you should not go for the Comassi. You directly take the gel from here and go for the Comassi, right? And third step is the blotting. So this one is the digesting protein directly in the gel matrix. So this one is the gel. You cut your protein from here. Suppose this is your protein of interest. You cut the protein and directly take it in the Eppendorf and mix it, and add the digestive enzyme. So it is called gel matrix digestion, right? So directly in the gel matrix you treat with this gel with the digestive enzyme and extracting the peptide, और उसको you extract by your particular defined protocol से आप उसमें से प्रोटीन को एक्सट्रैक्ट कर लोगे. So ये दो तरीके से होता है. These are also gel, these are also gel, this is also SDS gel, but इनकी स्टेनिंग अलग अलग है. ये कोमेसी से स्टेन है और ये सिल्वर स्टेनिंग है, बट दोनों ही एक्रिलामाइड जेल है, राइट? सो यू टेक द प्रोटीन फ्रॉम हियर, यू टेक द प्रोटीन फ्रॉम हियर. प्रोटीन मीन्स यू टेक द जेल, और उस जेल को डाइजेशन करना है, इसलिए इस प्रोसेस का नाम हुआ जेल मैट्रिक्स डाइजेशन. द फर्स्ट वन इन जेल डाइजेशन. तो आपने ये डायरेक्टली एक्रिलामाइड जेल लेके उसको डाइजेस्ट किया, राइट, देन उसको मैस करके उससे प्रोटीन आइसोलेट किया। सो फर्स्ट स्टेप इज द जेल मैट्रिक्स, सो अदर वन इज द प्रोटीन ब्लॉटिंग। इसको डिटेल में हम लेंगे बिकॉज दिस क्लास इज अराउंड going to 150 minute 55 minute, right? So there is no hurry, so we will take in the next one protein blotting and then in solution blotting. Then these are the different steps: separation of the fragments, ordering of the peptide fragment. Then we will take one example, one question, and we will do this problem actually, right? And then locating disulfide bond, how we can locate, investigating protein with a mass spectrometry. If there is a different other methods by which we can do this job: mass spectrometry, MALDI, TOF-MS, ESI, CELD, protein chip. There are the different sequencing machines, high tech nowadays, high tech sequencing machine, right? We are not dependent on the Sanger but the basic concept is the same, right? So these are the methods. In the next class we will finish this protein part, then in the third class we will start the Ramachandran plot, right? So please watch this video. If you have any problem, we will discuss in the live session class, right, on the Zoom or any other methods, right? So thank you.